Today we'll be going over the backhand slice offensive dink. This is one of my go-to dinks because it's not very hard to make, but it can often put your opponents in a bad position that either causes an error or a setup shot. So on the execution of this shot, the first thing you should be thinking about is your feet. You want to position your feet in such a way that you can make contact with the ball at the peak of its bounce. The peak, because then we can hit on a forward trajectory rather than an upward trajectory. Secondly, how do we generate spin on an offensive slice dink? Backspin is created by a slightly downward swing counteracting the slightly open paddle face. This will create a ball that has backspin but goes on a forward trajectory. When it hits the ground, this will cause the ball to skid. That makes it more difficult for our opponents to time and can cause them to miss or give us that setup shot that we want. Some other things we want to focus on are bending our knees and getting on the same level as the ball. We also want to make sure our wrist is firm and cocked upwards. This enables us to get that backspin and correct swing path more easily. If we drop our wrist or flick our wrist like this, we start to lose control and lose that backspin that we want and the control of the trajectory of the ball. As to why we hit this ball cross court generally, and we don't really try to hit offensive dinks down the line with backspin, is that the cross court has more area because it's the hypotenuse of the court. Also, you're going over the lowest part of the net as it crosses. Therefore, we can hit the ball with more pace, and when you hit the ball with more pace and spin, it's going to skid even more and cause those errors that you want. Another part of this shot that you want to consider is the height of the ball when you hit it. So we're aiming only a little bit above the level of the net. This allows the ball to go on that more straight trajectory and makes the backspin skid more. All right, so approximately a height like this. Bear in mind that slightly downward swing with the slightly open paddle face is getting me that trajectory that I want and making the ball spin. I don't really want to loft the ball too high because then the backspin won't really do very much. So we want that nice forward trajectory just like that. One last thing you want to think about when hitting this shot is what kind of ball am I receiving? If I'm receiving a ball where I can get in a good position, have a decent peak height, then that's a good shot to hit an offensive dink on. But if I'm in a bad position where I'm reaching for the ball, or the ball is low, or it has some spin, then that's probably not a great shot to try to hit an offensive dink off of. And there you have the backhand slice dink.